What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Guys, we here with Tell Me What It's Like to Work in America Without Actually Telling Me. And I think I did only one of these. This might be my part one, part two of this, but hey, and I can tell you a couple of things what it's like to work in America without telling you, without actually telling you. Like, it's definitely different, at least from what I know. Y'all hit that subscribe button, send down those recommendations. Let's check it out.
Tell me what it's like to work in America without telling me what it's like to work in America.
Hey boss, it's me. I just finished my doctor's appointment. They are going to put me in emergency surgery, but don't worry, I just downloaded Slack. If you could have someone message over my laptop, that way I can check in after I'm out of anesthesia. Before, you know what? Yeah, you're right. Yeah, send that over, and this way I can check in before anesthesia. And I know we don't have sick days, so yeah, I know I'm not gonna get paid for these days. That's fine. Yeah, I'll probably just try to come in tomorrow. Yeah, okay.
Crazy.
Oh, thank you. That's so sweet. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I hope I get well soon. Okay, bye.
It's not funny, but it's just funny the fact that it's okay, it's normal. This is, you know what? Let me check in before I take this. Instead of worried about this major surgery or procedure that I'm gonna have done, let me make sure I check in to work. Then after that, I can go back to work. That's crazy.
Thank you so much. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I hope I get well soon. Okay, bye.
That's wild.
Tell me what it's like to work in America without telling me what it's like to work in America.
Okay, so when I worked at a daycare, which I talked about this daycare in a previous video, one day I was like super sick, like literally throwing up, which I was the only teacher in my classroom at the time. I was literally throwing up, and I called my director because that's how we like contacted each other, classroom phones. And I was like, hey, I'm throwing up, like I can't function properly. Is there any way I can go home? And I had like 5 hours left of my shift, and she goes, oh, let me see what I can do. I'll call you back. So she never called me back. I go through the whole rest of my shift, and I like finish everything. I clean my classroom, everything. And I go to the front desk, and I go to like the person sitting at the front desk, and I was like, hey, I cleaned my whole classroom, but like I can't bring the garbage outside. I'm literally going to throw up some more. I've been throwing up all day. She goes, you have? Nobody told us that. I wish I would have known, or I would have come and covered you.
Wow.
So my director literally didn't care that I was throwing up and made me work.
That's crazy.
The whole shit.
Tell me what it's like to work in America without telling me what it's like to work in America.
You're 15 minutes late.
Sorry, Mr. Krabs. I was out all night looking for Gary. You see, he ran away, and, well, now I'm...
SpongeBob, are you okay? You look kind of different.
Well, I'm not exactly what you'd call okay, Mr. Krabs. You see, my...
You just forgot to put your...
Oh my god. When did this episode come out? This is almost like a perfect example.
You look kind of different.
Well, I'm not exactly what you'd call okay, Mr. Krabs. You see, my...
You just forgot to put your hat on. Well, I figured out.
Tell me what it's like to work in America without telling me what it's like to work in America.
I once had a shift as a traveling nurse about an hour and 45 minutes away from my home. I had unfortunately picked up a shift at my per diem job, not to be confused with my main job or my travel job. When I realized my mistake, I went and called the nurse that I had picked up the shift from to tell her, hey, I know I told you I could work your shift, but I got this travel assignment job and the conflicting schedules, I can't work it. So she said, no problem. This is the number for the supervisor to call so that you can do what you got to do regarding the shift. Fine, perfect. Go call a supervisor. He checks the schedule and he's like, well, you picked up a shift for another nurse? And I said, yeah. And he's like, well, she's not even scheduled on this day, so neither are you. It's all set. And I'm like, oh, perfect. Are you sure? He's like, yep, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. Fast forward 2 months later, I go in to do my annual review and sign the paperwork with the secretary, pass it in. How you doing? Good. How are you? Fine. I leave. About a month or so after that, I call to pick up a shift. Manager tells me you're not on payroll. And I'm like, well, I don't know. What does that mean? And she goes, well, you were terminated. And I'm like, for what? And she's like, well, first you called out for a shift in XYZ month. And I was like, no, I didn't. it was a misunderstanding. I picked up a shift from someone who wasn't actually assigned. So technically I picked up a shift that didn't exist. So technically I did not call out. And the supervisor said he would address it because I called him and spoke with him. Oh, well, who is the supervisor? I say his name. She says, he's not here anymore. He doesn't work here anymore. And I'm like,
What does that have to do with her?
okay, well, how's that my problem? And she goes, well, and second of all, you never filled out and submitted your evaluation. I say, yes, I did. I filled it out with so-and-so. I specifically remember talking to her. We exchanged pleasantries. She actually had surgery and she was telling me how she had just come back to work and blah, blah, blah. Oh, well, she doesn't work here anymore either. So we don't have your evaluation.
Wow. So now, technically, she don't work there anymore. Like, all these people that left, and now you pretty much... Did those people leave, or did they get terminated at this point? That sounds like they got terminated without notice or did not know.
She doesn't work here anymore either, so we don't have your evaluation.
That's wild.
Bitch, keep the job.
Tell me what it's like to work in America without telling me what it's like to work in America.
Since the start of this pandemic, we have had no bonus. We've had no incentive to keep on working this entire pandemic. Since this entire merger of these two giant companies, it's insane. So now we have double the amount of customers that come into this one location. So it's pretty nasty, you know, with the pandemic and everything. Not only that, but it's mentally draining for two people to work a 12-hour shift and have no lunch break. I have not had a lunch break to sit down.
Bro, no. If you work in 12 hours, even if you work in, like, I believe, if you work 8 hours, you're supposed to have a lunch. Even if you work like below 8, you're supposed to have some type of break. No way, Jose,
Work a
no way.
12-hour shift and have no lunch break. I have not had a lunch break to sit down in over 2 months now. And yeah, I talk literally all day for the straight 12-hour shifts. I have a lot of people waiting just to work with me for hours and hours and hours on end, and then I get to finally sit down after I clock out. Sometimes we stay late, sometimes we have to come in early. It's been really, really hard, and we've lost 2 people already in the meantime, and it's just going to keep getting worse, and the systems never work, and this entire merger is just trash. So yeah.
Straight boo-boo.
Tell me what it's like to work in America without telling me what it's like to work in America.
This is the shit. In my damn department. I come in at 7 a.m., hard-working man, to find a shit.
What?
Who came back here and squatted in this motherfucker? I hate my fucking job. I gotta
Is
do
he
something.
in a kitchen? What the heck? That's wild and nasty.
Tell me what it's like to work in America without telling me what it's like to work in America.
I've been waiting for this one. So last year, I worked at a big gas station in Texas. If you can't figure out what the big gas station in Texas is, well, anyways, it was February in Texas. Do you know I remember what happened
I'm guessing Buc-ee's. I'm going Buc-ee's because Buc-ee's is one of the biggest, I would say. I mean, yeah, if you consider it a gas station, yeah. Buc-ee's, QT, one of them.
Anyways, it was February in Texas. Do you know I remember what happened last February in Texas? Texas decided to freeze.
Oh, yeah.
And as us Texans, we don't know how to drive in the frozen. Also, I drove a stick shift, so it was even worse. Yeah. So the day before it really froze over, I looked at my manager and I was like, hey, I don't feel comfortable coming into work tomorrow. Like, my car, it's not gonna make it. She then tells me, if you don't come into work tomorrow, you're fired. And it's a no call, no show. So, figure it out. The next day I wake up, that's what calls me. Jasmine, I don't think you're driving to work today. I said, well, I kind of have to. It's my job. In the last semester of college, I gotta pay bills. Guy I was in talking to called me. He said, Jasmine, I don't think you're driving to work today. Told me the same thing. Just get in my car, start driving there. Mind you, I'm driving, I think 40 was the highest that I went the entire time on a highway that goes 70. So I'm on the phone with the guy I was talking to, and I was telling him, I'm like, I'm so anxious. I don't feel like I'm gonna make it. I don't know what to do. He's like, look, just hang up with me, focus on driving. I hang up with him, and I kid you not, I'm a mile away from work. Just got off the phone, then probably 3 minutes, I hit a patch of black ice.
Dang.
My car spins, goes backwards off the road, and I flip into a ditch. My first reaction was I need to call my job and tell them that I'm not gonna make it. Not call the police, not ask for help. Call my job because I didn't want to get fired.
In the world?
Call my job, and I'm like holding in the tears, and I was like, hey, this is Jasmine. I'm not gonna be able to make it into work today. They're like, okay, let us transfer to your manager. Transfer to my manager. I'm now in hysterics. I'm like, hey, just got into a wreck today. Not gonna be able to make it to work. She was like, Jasmine, no, you did it. Then she realizes I'm like screaming, crying. And she's like, Jasmine, oh my God, call the police. Somebody else called the police. But anyways, hung up with them. I get the help, blah, blah, blah. Right when the ambulance pulled up, another car wrecked.
Dang.
I ain't gonna lie, theirs was worse. So I was like, just take the ambulance to them. I'll ride with the tow truck and go to my job. Get to my job. First question asked me, hey, do you think you're gonna be able to work today?
Nah, I ain't.
I said, no. I wanna go to the fucking hospital. So they finally get one of my coworkers, take me to the hospital. That 30-minute drive took 2 hours. I get to the hospital. That's a story. Anyways, doctor gives me my notes, says, you have about 2 days off. Nay. I told him no. Give me at least 10. He was like, okay, why? I'm like, 1, I don't have a car. 2, my job is stupid and won't make me come into work if you only give me 2 days off. And Texas is not going to be unfrozen by then. Get my note, have my 10 days off. My parents give me another car. Thank the God for my parents. Finally get back to work. And I'm like, okay, here's my note. Here's that. They're like, oh, well, since you weren't on company time when it happened, we can't pay you.
What?
So I took my time off work, didn't get paid for it, and fuck America, bro.
That's the wildest story I didn't heard. Dang. First and foremost, yes, they will. I think they did my brother the same way. But I think his supervisor, his manager, he actually was like, hey, I'll come pick you up. You know, he didn't have to drive. He was like, hey, I'll come get you. But there was, matter of fact, I believe this was that same year, same time that a bunch of people, was it in Fort Worth? I believe Dallas or Fort Worth area. It was like maybe 50 plus car like crash. It was like a 50 plus car accident because people were trying to get to work. It wasn't because people just chilling. Oh, they were trying to get to work and people lost their lives and stuff trying to get to a job. It don't make no sense. Cause what happened if she would have lost her life or anything? They would have just hired somebody else. They would have just did that. That's wild. I would have been like, hey, y'all either want me here every day or want me here on time. Because if this ice on the ground, I can't come. I'm sorry. Like, do what you got to do. Yeah, it sucks. Cause this is probably the real reason why people bounce around from job to job. Just because, like, there are some craziness that comes with employment in America. Like, man, what these employers expect of you, manager, supervisor, it's like you see why people bounce around from job to job because what the heck? That's crazy.
I'm off work, didn't get paid for it,
man.
And fuck America, bro.
Tell me what it's like to work in America without telling me what it's like to work in America.
I've got one for this. So I'm a self-taught programmer. I was applying for programming jobs in the area where I grew up, which is a pretty small town, where the median salary for the role I was applying for would have been in the 50 to 60K range. They loved me after the interview. They gave me an offer really quickly, $27,000 a year. And then they start outlining expectations. We expect you to be in the office working for at least 60 hours per week and then spending at least 20 hours per week outside of the office studying to improve at your job. So I told them, well, okay, but I have to be picking up contracts to supplement my income. $27,000 is not much
at all
to live on. And the guy I'm talking to about this, he says, no, you don't understand. This is how a real job works. We pay you everything you need to live, and you work only for us.
You can't live for
21.77.
$21.77.
Got a job paying twice as much, and then I moved so I could make way more.
That's
Hey
wild.
Danielle, I noticed my paycheck is messed up again. Ugh, let me see. Your paycheck is correct. It is very clearly not. I'm missing 2 hours of work,
this happened to
plus you
me.
switched my pay rates around. Sends SS of hours worked and math showing what my check should be. Are you dumb? Do you not know how to do basic math? I just want the correct pay.
Crazy.
This isn't the first time you've messed my hours up. Whatever, I'll go over the simple first grade math with you tonight.
First of all, that's
Sends
rude.
SS of conversation. Morgan, my hours are clearly wrong. She put me on the serving rate and left hours off. Yeah, this is obviously wrong. How much do we owe you? Sends him the math, about $90. Okay, come pick it up tonight. I'll talk to Dan.
Dang, that's crazy. Yeah, that's wild. But that ice one in Texas, it was different. It was a lot. It was a lot happened around that time. It was, but ain't no way. You ain't finna catch me making a 2-hour drive to a job that usually take me 30 minutes. And then on some black, I drove a little. I was slipping and sliding a little when I had to go to the store. I was slipping and sliding a little. I was like, this ain't worth it to go get some groceries. It ain't. I had to get groceries before all the snow. If I missed something, I was like, yeah. When it started going down, you could still slip and slide on that ice. It's crazy. That's wild, but that is how it is. Dang, man. Dang. It's crazy out here. That. Wow. Wow. I don't even have nothing. Like, I'm speechless. Because it's really how it is. It's really how it be. I remember being young. They really get you when you young, too. Like, it pays. Like, once you get older and spend, like, you really can't, like, you really gotta stand your ground when it comes to working. Like, cause people will take advantage of you and use you. I ain't gonna cap on that one. I ain't gonna. But that's all I have, guys. Y'all let me know your thoughts on what you think in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button and be blessed, be the best, and be you. I'm out.